fellow collectors? Shuki here with a review of the Uchu Sentai Kyuranger DX, Houou Blade, and Houou Shield. So, this is actually a super old toy, released back in July of 2017, for about 5,000 yen, so give or take, depending on when and where you picked it up. Obviously, I believe you can probably find this much cheaper, but finally back, rebranded, ready to jump into Kyuranger again. Almost done, and it's been a fantastic series thus far, and I have to say that this toy is actually super duper fun, and I'm glad they decided to go this route for a changer, having like a sword and shield combo changer. I think is actually just really cool. So you got a really cool picture of them all up there, the most beautiful Sentai suits that we've had in a while, and all the functions on here on the back, and we will get with that momentarily. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this open and take a look. Before I do anything, I want to look at the Houou Kyutama. So this is pretty much the same as the one you will get with Gigant Houou, so if you picked up the mecha, this really isn't a whole lot different. It is nice and glittery in there, which is really nice. You got the phoenix in there. The image on the back here is obviously not the Houou Soldier in the cockpit, because this one is a kind of like an attack version of the Kyutama, just like the one that came with the Seiza Blaster and stuff. So you get some fireballs on the back there, so pretty cool. This is number B12, and there are the pins. If you can kind of see them, it's a clear bottom. A lot of the ones that have been coming with the devices and stuff are all clear bottoms. So there we go. Let's go ahead and turn this on if it is not. And you'll hear that sound a lot. Alright, so there we go with the Kyutama. And now for the actual main event. And this was super fun. I dig this a lot. It is very small. I mean, as you can see, it fits in my camera frame. It's not that big. The handle back here is super duper tight. I have tiny hands, and it's super tight. Obviously, a Japanese kid, which this toy is meant for, probably won't have that big of an issue. But for the adult collectors, this is definitely one that you're not going to want to hold for too long or tote around with you for cosplay. You're gonna have to make one, because this will not cut it. But really cool. Unfortunately, the shield itself has no electronics, so it can't like shoot or anything like that. In the show, he has used the shield as a blaster, and this button just deactivates the clip in the sword, so it doesn't actually do anything. So there's no actual laser sounds or anything like that in this thing. So pretty basic. All the electronics are in the sword itself. Speaking of, to release the sword, you're gonna have to press the trigger and end this simultaneously, and we will be able to yank it out of there. I believe I have it on right now, so just kind of bear with me. There we go. That part spins, just FYI. So here is the shield itself. Like I said, just a big hunk of plastic. The trigger right here releases this clip right there, and then the trigger on the sword will release another clip that latches in back here. So that will release everything. But there you go. So there's your big plastic shield part. But like I said, everything else is in the blade right here. Obviously very small as per normal with Bandai Japan sword toys, but it's very cool. I do like the design itself. I like how the hilt is designed after the phoenix head. You got the beak and the eyes. And even an eye back there. It's not fully painted, but still there. 3 AAA batteries, I believe, or 2. I think it's 3. Usually 3. Kyutama sits right there. So very, very basic stuff. On-off switch is right here. Usual activation noise for the Kyuranger stuff. Inserting the Kyutama can be a little bit tricky just because this spins, so it's not always lined up properly. I think we're good to go. And it does light up and stuff like that, so very cool. Just yank it out, there are no buttons or anything. Insert it, which again is troublesome. Same exact sound, so it doesn't really matter if you have the Kyutama inserted or not for that. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of leave it in there because, like I said, you don't really need to have it inserted in this mode to activate the change, because all you have to do is hold down the trigger right here. This is going to be a really weird one for review just because of how you have to get it out of the shield. So just kind of bear with me a little bit as we get through this. So here we go. You hold it down, and in this mode, the trigger doesn't do anything at all. You have to hold it down. And then you're going to want to hold the back button down. Very cool tune. I love the tune. And then press this and yank.
Houou Soldier.
Yeah. A very cool tune. Very cool tune, Tsurugi. I dig that.
Houou Blade.
And if you do that, you'll hear Houou Blade. And the same two attack noises we already knew. So, insert that. Again, trigger won't do anything. Hold it down. Now for the final attack. Got a cool new jingle for this one. So there was the final attack. Back to the normal one. So unfortunately that isn't really too awesome of a sound, but hey, is what it is. Next. Time for some Gigan Houou. There you go, apparently we're now Gigan Houou. So kind of disappointed it doesn't say Kyutama-jin, but I guess Gigan Houou does, so it's fine, I suppose. Back to the cool catchy attack sound. So this one works a little bit differently, as you just saw. So what we're gonna have to do is all the attacks are all based around with it in shield mode. So we're gonna reconnect here, and it is gonna cycle us back to say the change. Or come on the change, rather. I apologize. And we're gonna have to get all the way back to come on the attack. Alright, from here we're gonna hit the trigger. And I'll say Houou Shield, and then from there we can do a number of different attacks by pressing the trigger. And if you pull it out after that, it doesn't really do anything. All the attack functions are with this connected, like this. So, alright, and we're back. So let's go ahead and cycle through these attacks. And these are all based off of space things like Shooting Star and Milky Way and all that, so it's pretty neat. This is the name of Forze's high school. It's pretty cool. I feel like I was just seduced with the thought of going to Hawaii. And it just cycles back. So there you go. And if you hold it down again, it'll just go back to say, or come on, the change. So pretty cool, pretty robust toy. And it's nice to have one that has a lot of sounds and has a lot of features, but doesn't necessarily need you to have all the Kyutama or anything, because it acts independently from the rest of the toy line. So I think that's a pretty cool function as a nice little standalone item that you could get, that unlike the Seiza Blaster, doesn't rely on getting all these gimmicks and stuff. So it's pretty nice in that regard. Like I said, it's got lots of sounds, lots of cool sounds, multiple functions, and I think the sword and shield concept for a changer is just very, very cool. Plus, it reminds me a lot of Woolzard, and I love Magiranger and that character, so I dig that quite a bit as well. Plus, phoenixes are really cool. Fire and birds and all that fun stuff. So, really cool, and I definitely recommend giving this one a pick up. The box is very big, so shipping might be a little bit of a pain on something like this, but it is definitely a really cool toy. So that about does it for this review. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and of course, as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.